Hello and welcome to another episode of View from the Sheds. This week we carried on with our Zoom call series and we sat down with the second and third team captains for the 2021 season. We also were joined by Max and Cam, who are moving into the Senior Colts. Keep watching to find out what the boys had to say about last season, this season, and how they've been keeping fit during lockdown.
Yeah. How we doing, fellas?
All right, what's it?
Yeah. Good to see you looking well, mate.
Good stuff, yeah. I say all the boys are looking sharp and all their stash. How's everyone been coping with lockdown?
All right, yeah. Just
mate,
about
yeah.
getting through.
Not
Got
bad.
to get through it, haven't you, really? It's just one of those things. Getting a bit boring now, mate, but we're coming towards the end of it, aren't we? So, not too bad.
Hopefully we can get on and play a bit of rugby soon.
Yeah, it sounds like that's sort of coming in it in the next few weeks.
Yeah, surely. Gotta be.
Boys, I tell you, we'll go through. We've got Jake, we've got Kingy, SP, Max, and Cam. Max and Cam, how are we doing?
All right, yeah.
How's lockdown been as a teenager or a sort of 17, 18-year-old?
It's getting boring now.
It is getting boring. It was all right at first, but it's just got more and more boring, yeah.
You've been kept busy with stuff from like school and everything?
Yeah, obviously, year 12, yeah, got quite busy. Lots of online lessons, lots of work, but it's manageable. Gets me out of bed, so.
No exams though, lads, eh?
I've been lucky
We
enough
still
to
do.
finish all my work now, so.
You've got exams to do, have you?
Yeah, next year we do. It's this year that they just.
This is why you do a BTEC and not A levels.
Yeah, Max is lucky.
I'm with you there.
Good tactic. But so yeah, you've been boys been all right then during the lockdown. Not been too bored. Have you managed to get out and about or
Just slept for most of it.
well, you Kingy, innit, I think?
No, mate. Up at the crack of dawn every day, me, but it's when the fitness starts, mate.
Like I say, I think Kingy's winning the posting their fitness online. I thought.
Yeah, 100%.
I think SP's winning the drinking out of the group.
I don't know. Has anyone seen what Dave Pipe's been posting on the Stormers? He's doing like 60k and a 60k bike ride and a 15k run every day, pretty much. It's ridiculous.
Horrible.
Not
I want
bad,
to
is it?
see the Gypsy Marathon.
And Gypsy's marathon.
Yeah, Gypsy's marathon. But Pipey did his 1k like hot lap challenge as part of a 14k run. I think he said, "Oh, it's that kilometre in the middle."
Yeah, he'd done a cycle before it as well, and then did his hot lap after it.
Mate,
horrible.
He claims he's a prop as well, so it's not on at all.
Definitely lost me on that one then.
Yeah.
Not for me. So let's go through it all. How did we all get into rugby? Obviously, there's sort of some faces that everyone within the sort of playing group would know, but the wider club, who have we got? Have we all come up through school or started the rugby club early doors?
I think I started about under 12s.
Yeah.
Under 12s, under 11s. That's because my brother started playing for sort of the year above. I got bored just sitting and watching him train, so I decided to go and join my own age group.
Good man.
How'd you find it? Did you find it all right, Sandbach, getting into it?
Yeah, it was first time I'd ever looked at playing rugby when he started, and I was swimming at the time for a swimming club, so I ended up just leaving the swimming club and playing rugby instead.
Jeez, take that. There you go. Well, swimming's a tough one, isn't it? Really, it's a bit of a you got to get up early and swimming pool.
Yeah, it's a bit boring.
You got to get in the swimming pool.
It helps with swimming to get into the pool, buddy.
Mate, I did swim when I was a kid, and all I remember is you got in the pool, and then it was just like, right, do 80 lengths as you warm up, and then it was like, right, it's the main session now, you're going to do 100 lengths.
Yeah.
And then 20 length cool down, so wasn't that fun. But yeah, I kind of got into rugby year 7 at school, kind of footy and stuff as a child, and I think it was under 14s. I think I joined the club then, and then played all throughout juniors, Colts, and then I went to uni and didn't play for a few years. Then obviously came back about 3 years ago now, and then played 3s, 2s, and then here we are.
It is. Jake, you've got a bit of a colourful background, I think, in terms of.
Well, I've always played football, and then played rugby at school. Then I kind of Lee Pickles was my first coach at school. Keith Jones was always trying to convince me to come down to the club and leave the football. But I carried on playing football rather than rugby. And then when I graduated from uni, I just decided I wanted to change, and I kind of like the atmosphere at the rugby club and everything. I'd come down and watch every now and then. And so, yeah, pack the football in and join the club, and not really looked back since. Love it.
SP?
Similar sort of path, really, but started a little bit later. Started in kind of year 9, 10, I think, at school. And then probably year 11, started playing at the club as well. They were originally playing second row. And then went to uni, played a little bit there. I did my knee in first year and then played like 6 to 10 games, I think, for the rest of the time. And then left it there for a couple of years and then started back, reinvented myself, and yeah, been at the club ever since.
Yeah. Cam?
Pretty similar. I played football all through primary school, got tired of it, and then after that I didn't really play any team sports, and then joined the boys' school, obviously big rugby school.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Allen said, "Cam, come down to the club." So I came down, I trained with the lads, really enjoyed it, and then a few weeks later signed up, and yeah.
Happy days. So have you boys been part of the same team for a few years, or is that group sort of come through the age groups quite well, a good core of players, or have you sort of...
I think like there was a big sort of group of people that came through together up until about probably under 15s, under 16s. And then obviously we lost people. So people like Barlow and Josh went to Sandbach. So we lost a lot of like that big group, and then more people came in. And then we got the new coach. We got Colin came in as well. And then we've just sort of come through since then.
Happy days. We'll move into sort of the captains. Obviously, the two lads. It's a bit of a new system for this year. We've got Kingy and SP as our second team captains for this year. How did that come about, fellas? Did you sort of put your hand up, or were you approached?
I can't say I put my hand up, to be honest with you. I remember just kind of got a message about a couple of months ago now, Andrew saying, how would you fancy doing the twos role? Because Davo's been captain for like the last year. He's been, one of Sandbach's probably best players, captain the first, etc. Andrew just basically said he doesn't want to do every single game anymore. Doesn't want to like commit 4 weekends in a month to playing rugby. So how would me and SP feel about taking the role? Because you just mentioned that we're like regular trainers. We go to the socials with all the boys, get on with everybody, and yeah. So that's why his justification was for it, really. And I had a chat with Sam and said, "I'm glad we're doing it together." And yeah, that was it, really. Just accepted from there.
Didn't trust either one of us to do it ourselves, but I think together we should just about manage.
Yeah, it's definitely not I think it sounds a lot easier than it actually is, if I'm honest. But no, I think you boys will be, more than fitting for the job. Like you said, you're always training. You're a big part of the squad and socials and that. So happy days. And then the nicest and most well-loved man in Sandbach, Jake. You're the third team captain for this year.
Yeah. So Matt put on our Facebook group that he was kind of thinking about standing down as the captain this year, and wanted to know whether anybody had kind of put themselves forward to do it. So I messaged Andrew and just said, I'd be interested in it. I'd been doing something like the running some of the training sessions with Ian Mack this year for the third team, and just said like, if everyone else is happy with it, then I'd more than happily do it. So I spoke to Andy. He seemed to think it was a good idea for me to put my name in the hat, and then spoke to Matt, and he put it out for everybody else, and everybody seemed to kind of agree that they'd be all happy with it. So yeah, just carry on from what we've been doing last year, really.
Yeah, I think Fulton's put some hard work in, hasn't he? The last.
Oh yes, massive hard work over the last couple of years as well.
Years.
I mean, 2 years ago, the team we finished, we won the league, got to a cup final on the same day that the second team was playing in theirs. I think we didn't turn up for hours, and you guys turned up. But yeah, Matt's done a brilliant job of kind of creating such a good team atmosphere and everything, and an ethic in the third team that just hopefully I can just carry that on and keep everybody together how they have been for the last couple of years, and I'm sure we'll have lots of success again this year.
So the thing with the threes, when you think back like 4 years ago, maybe it was kind of like what you just think of as a traditional third, fourth team at a club. It was pretty like unorganised. Players just turned up, played on the day. But like it's what Jake said, Matt's just made it so much more like organised and structured. And really, it's not that much difference between their team and the twos, which is kind of good going forward. That people can like filter between the two teams pretty easily.
I feel like I've got quite an easy job really taking over with the threes, because Matt's got it so organised and he's still about and everything, so I can always lean on him for some advice and stuff, and just carry on with everything.
Happy days. I say, are most of the lads sticking about? And
Yeah. So I don't think there's anybody so far from what conversations we've had. I don't think anybody's leaving, and there's a couple of lads that have said that they might start training again and things. So we'll have to see. Nothing 100% concrete yet, but hopefully a couple of lads will be joining as well.
Happy days. I say, having a good second, third team just makes the club, bigger, better, stronger, and like you say, the seamless link between the teams. When lads are injured or unavailable, it just makes it so much better, doesn't it? So,
I think for us as well, like the third team starting to run all the patterns some of the patterns that the first team run and the second team run as well. And I think that's shown when there's a couple of games last season when the third team had to step up, and a couple of lads have had to go up that haven't maybe played second team before, and they're able to run all the moves that everybody else knows and everything. I think that's the big thing for this year for us, is just making sure we know like all the setup, the moves and everything else that the other teams actually run. As a third team, that's quite a big thing for us, for the majority of the team to be able to run all those patterns and everything. I don't know what Kingy and SP think, but the lads stepping up last year seem to know everything and be able to go straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the big factors towards the end that meant that we kind of finished that conference so strongly. I mean, we'd have games where there'd be 6-7 players that were stepping up from the thirds and coming out, and they weren't missing runs. They were not just filling a space; they were actively contributing. So it was really positive, and that's definitely, I think, one of the things that me and Kingy being asked to do the role we're doing, I think, is to continue that and maintain that, because we both came through the third team when we came back to play for the club. So we get on with all those guys really well. We know them all really well, and we can sort of foster that link between twos and threes, and then you've got the link already between the ones and twos as well.
Happy days. Any previous captaining experience?
I don't think so, mate, unless you count house captain at school, mate, year 9.
What counts?
Got a team for road relay that year, mate.
Which house were you, Kingy?
Craig.
Oh, terrible.
Hanging.
All the best.
I think SP was Lee. Were you Lee like me, SP?
Yeah.
There you go. See Lee with the house then, Kingy.
It wasn't, mate.
I've captained a couple of footy teams, footy, but not rugby teams.
I'm sure it'll be sweet. In terms of in terms of culture or any changes you're looking to make, is there anything? Or I think you touched on Fulton's built a pretty good community and togetherness in the threes. I didn't know if any of you boys are looking at any changes or directions you want to try and take the teams in.
I think think for us it'd be just continuing to build that relationship with the team and everything, and organising more social events and everything, but as well hopefully like integrating the team more with the second team and the first team as a full senior bunch, really. And again, like Kingy and SP said, the fact that they get on with the lads in the third team really well, and they've come through the third team, hopefully be able to, because I think the third team sometimes seems a bit separated, because they've got that kind of team ethic where everyone's all together, but maybe spreading that through the teams a little bit and integrating ourselves a bit more with the rest of the squads.
Yeah, I definitely back up what Jake said there. I think that would be a really good thing if that happens with the threes. I think for the twos, really, the two things I can really think of, I'd kind of like there to be a group chat of some description. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a chat where it's bouncing every day of the week, but literally just for organisation purposes. If people can't play, etc., you put it in the chat, and then it saves the chasing around for players, etc., which I know Davo did quite a bit last year. And one thing as well, we just need to get more boys down to training. We said it a lot last year. We didn't have the best training numbers, I suppose, when you think about previous years. But we still turned up and won the majority of our games on Saturday fairly comfortably, playing good rugby. And if most of the boys just came to training, then think how good we could be.
Yeah, it was a weird season last year with there being so few teams in our league, and really it didn't feel like there was any step up from the previous year where we got that promotion. So I think maybe the sporadic kind of game every couple of weeks, every few weeks, I think there wasn't that drumbeat, there wasn't that kind of challenge and drive that would get people out to training when it's cold and a bit wet or a bit miserable. Obviously this year was going up again, and looking at the teams we've got, it's going to be a much tougher year. So hopefully with that, people will take this opportunity to sort of engage, buy in, and relish the challenge, and get involved, get a bit more of a team spirit going.
On the plus side, though, I'm seeing a lot of the boys look quite keen for it. They're posting on the fitness thing. Matt Beeston's been on it, Max Beadle, Joe Hickey. I've even seen Buncey on it. It's great to see him back, because he was a great player last year and he had that unfortunate knee injury. So seems like the boys are really keen for it. So hopefully that translates into training numbers pre-season and going into the season.
Yeah. Just touching on that, the league. It's the top one, as far as I know, that you can be in as a second seed. So there's
So
Caldy, Sedgley, those sort of big hitters. So one way of looking at it is that that's a tough league, but if we're going to have a strong sort of second team, or why not challenge yourselves with the best teams in the sort of northwest area? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. No, being around the bush, it's going to be a tough league. Like some of those teams like Caldy or whatever have got a squad full of players that get a match fee. So regardless, some of them will be playing second team as well. But I think it's what Sam said. Last year didn't feel like that much of a massive step up, and we still finished quite high up in that league. Probably should have won it when you come to think of it. Just had a couple of silly losses. There's no reason why we shouldn't be going into this league thinking we can establish ourselves in it at all.
Right, boys. I've let you sit there quietly for a few minutes. I'm gonna come and ask you a few questions. So, how did you find your season last year? You were junior Colts last year, going into seniors this year or next season.
Yeah.
Cam, do you want to tell us a bit about how your season went or how you finished up?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Came second in our league. So we were second, like the second division tier thing. So we came second. We were in it with a chance of winning. Unfortunately, a few losses just gave that away. But it was pretty good. We got to a few finals, a few semis, and obviously before this happened, we hadn't played them, so we did have a chance with some silverware as well. So yeah, pretty good. Probably our best season yet, I'd say.
Really? Do you know if you'll get a chance to play those finals, or have they not said anything?
I don't think so. I think we're just starting over.
Yeah. So you're generally happy with the season?
Yeah, well, I think There's obviously some games that we could have won that we didn't. That's just like how we turned up on the day. But overall, like there was nothing to really not be happy about with the season. So,
You any standout games or performances that you sort of remember or thought was a a decent day out for the boys?
which was
I'd
the
probably
Christmas
go.
one, Cam.
I was injured at that point, Max. I didn't go.
We had one. I can't remember what it was, but we had to go. It was like we made a day out of it. We all went on the coach.
It was Vale Loom, wasn't it?
Vale, that's the one.
A long way. You'll have a few trips to there, and you sort of see.
Well, we went there twice this year, mate.
Didn't get us a coach.
Yeah, we didn't get a coach, did we?
Yeah, we get a coach. We got one coach all last year.
So did you have a bit of fun on the way back, or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah,
No
it was all
comment.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good season, though, boys. If you finish in
it does.
second and get into cup finals and semi-finals and things, that's brilliant. It's a
Yeah,
shame
it was
it's
a good
too
season.
short.
Yeah, we're interrupted.
So, just in terms of going forward for you boys, do you have sort of any links with sort of senior teams, or are you looking to come through and play some senior rugby in the next couple of years, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I've just sort of got to see how it plays out for me because I'm hopefully going into the Navy next year. So I've just got to see when I'm here, when I'm not, to see what I can do. But I'm going to stay as a member of the club. So if I do come back, then I might be able to get a game every now and then. But we just have to see how it goes.
It is. What are you looking at doing in the Navy?
Weapons engineer.
Nice, decent. Cam, what about yourself?
Definitely, yeah. I'd like to play some senior rugby. Probably, yeah. Uni after that. Probably come back and see where it takes me. But definitely like to play some senior games. Yeah.
Any thoughts on unis, or you're looking, or?
I've started having a look. Obviously, open days have sort of gone out the window now. But no, definitely, yeah. I know about like what I want to do and what type of uni I'm looking at, but not set on one yet.
It is. So, you boys will be going into Senior Colts next year. Will you be in the same league, or does it change for you guys going next year?
It's
I'm
the
not
same
sure.
league. I think it's same league, but winners of our league get promoted up to the top division, and the losers from Division 1 get promoted. So lots of the same opposition, but a few new faces.
Get another bus journey to Vale Loon, sorry. But a lot of your boys sticking together. Obviously, it's an awkward age, isn't it? Really, that sort of senior Colts. You get some lads that drift away or work and other things crop up.
It's sort of like the time and the age where people look to do different things and sort of because like obviously people go to different colleges all over the place and that's then will they make it to training sessions or will they be able to get back if they're like staying at a college or whatever. So it's like I think most people are sort of staying quite close. I think they're still staying in the team, but
yeah, I think the main the core group of the lads who have been there for a while will stay for at least another year, and then there's a few comings and goings, but that'll happen every year. So I think the main group of lads will stay for the next season and maybe beyond.
Pre-season, go on, Jay, you can lead us. Pre-season, when's that happening, pal?
Oh, well, as soon as possible, really. I think we've got a few dates kind of planned out, but passing them by Andy at the moment, can't really put anything out because of obviously with the restrictions that there are and everything. So we're just kind of waiting. Soon as we're able to get out and meet up and stuff, I think there's lots of things in place ready to go. It's just finding out when we can start, make a start on it all. But we've got meetings and getting training done and everything. I think, to be fair, for our group, like Kingy and SP are saying, the pre-season stuff's already started. Everyone's posting the fitness pretty much every day on the group and cycling and running and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's I think as a third team, the amount of fitness that everyone's doing and everything, I think we're going to be in good shape for the start of the season, definitely.
They're good at triathlons, but can't catch a path.
Yeah, something like that, mate.
Well, I think we've got a meeting on the last Thursday.
30th of July, I think it's planned for, mate. Again, whether that happens or not, hopefully. If we all stand apart from each other, Bebs might have to raise his voice a bit so everyone can hear. But that's Andrew's initial plan at the moment, and hopefully that still goes ahead as normal.
Okay. And any thoughts on what we'll be up to? Just plenty of running.
Broncos and what's the other one?
Running and passing, mate. But I don't think we'll be doing it.
And the sort of younger lads, how have you been keeping fit during lockdown? I suppose Max, you probably had to be doing quite a fair bit if you're trying to get in the Navy.
Yeah, it's just sort of working on things like, because I've had mates that have gone through the sort of joining process before me, so I've had sort of them telling me what I need to work on before I go in. So it's just mainly press ups and running that I've been doing. But
sounds horrible. How have you been getting on?
All right, yeah, just running. Yeah, like Matt said, school have set up like a little competition. So all the lads who are playing rugby next year from year 7 to my year 13, we've been put into 6 groups, and then every week they'll set a set of challenges. So one will be a fitness challenge. So this week it's a Bronco, and then just different like wall sits, squats, press ups, and then you get like a certain amount of points for how well you do. Then every week they'll update the scores, and it's just adding that little bit of competitiveness to try and push us to our limits, basically. Yeah.
That's pretty decent, to be fair. I quite like that. Jake, you have to nick that one and get all your
I was
prime.
going to say, I'll be nicking that for my school. We're getting the kids to do that, yeah. Well done, Cam.
Just like noting down. Get it done.
Noted, don't worry.
Right, let's have a little think back to sort of between the sort of second and third team, or sort of 19-20 recap. I know it sort of touched on it and it hasn't really ended how we all thought, but Jake, how do you think your season went?
So being promoted the season before, I think we had a pretty good season, to be fair. We've ended up finishing 5th with a game in hand and only a point behind 4th. So realistically, I think we would have finished 4th. I think we had a bit of a slow start to the season, and the first 6 games, everything that we've been running pre-season, we were getting frustrated because it wasn't coming off in a game and things like that. And we sat down together, discussed it, and everybody kind of got everyone singing the same hymn sheet again. And I think we had a good run after that. So moving forward this year, I think from the results we ended up getting after the first couple of weeks, where we had bad results, we should be challenging at the top of the league.
FP, Kingy, about the boys' second team.
Yeah, we had a bit of a weird season, like we said. It wasn't a massive step up in terms of standards of teams, but it was strange that, you know, there's only 7 teams in that league, so big gaps in between. There were patches of decent rugby, but I think because it was so sporadic, because it was kind of a bit random, some of the games were kind of no more difficult than the season before. I don't think we had that kind of drive or that kind of want that you kind of need, that hunger. And it just got off to a strange start. I think the first game we had 16 players, which was bizarre, really unheard of. So there was a lot to be kind of disjointed, a lot that could have sort of derailed it. But I think as we got through the season and we got to the latter stages, certainly when we were into the conference, we said about some of the threes lads stepping up. It started to get a bit more of a flow, a bit more of a sort of team spirit. We had some of the kind of the guys who've done a bit of ones, whether that's Davers or Tizer or Kizzer or whatever, who were sort of getting a bit more regular game time with us and putting their kind of stamp on it. So I think we ended in a much better place than when we started. Don't know about you, Kingy.
I'd echo that, mate. I'd say definitely we got on board a bit more with Bebbs' coaching, like when we were running some of the patterns of play and stuff. And Ty's, it was really good, to be fair to him, at kind of like drilling that into everybody in the warm-up. Like we'd spend a good half of our warm-up like going through all the plays we were going to do. And when we pulled them off, like there's teams at that level that couldn't really handle it, to be honest. But yeah, it's the same as SP. It was just a strange season. We had these massive gaps in between games, but at the same time, we did win. Like we did win the tight games a lot of the time. Like Wirral away in that quarter final was quite a nervy one, but we hung on at the end, and then we won a tight one away at Vale Loon as well. So we had a cup semi-final lined up as well against Lim, which shame we couldn't get to play that because they're obviously in this league we're in now, and that would have been quite a good indication of how well we could mix it in that league. But on the whole, yeah, it's fragmented, but results were pretty good. We didn't lose many, so looking to continue that next year.
Awesome. Looking forward to next season then. Boys, do you want to sort of have a little discussion about, I've got something about a Senior Colts vision for 2020. Is there anything that you boys have set yourselves, or is there something that as a squad you're looking at for next year?
I'd say we're going to aim to win the league. Obviously, came second this year. We'd like to go one better and win it next year. And just kind of prepare ourselves for senior rugby mainly, just to make sure we're as comfortable as possible with that step up to playing with lads of all different age groups rather than just our own. So, yeah, and then maybe compete in the Cheshire Cup and League Cup, get some silverware in our final year before we go to seniors.
Yeah, I agree with Cam. Sort of, it's just best preparing ourselves so it's not as much of a jump and as much a sort of a shock when we do get to sort of senior level.
Do you boys play similar patterns to the senior teams, or do you sort of not really know?
Not really sure.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Do you get any of the sort of coaches come do any sessions with you, sort of Andy or Bebbs or Webbs from last year, or?
Birdie's come down and done a session with us, and then a few first team players, like I can't remember who it was, but someone came down and did some scrum work with us forwards, and then
I think I've seen Gaz down with you guys a couple of times.
Yeah,
Like we do the night training sessions with Webbs and some of the other first team coaches as well, I think. So.
And I think certainly sort of speaking to Andy and that, he's keen for that group to come through. You seem like you've got a real good bunch of lads together, and certainly you might listen to the lads talking. It's what you need when you need a good group of lads coming through every year and joining the sort of third team, second team, and if you're good enough, first team. So definitely be looking forward to seeing you boys in the next couple of years, having a trot out for the senior clubs. We'll round it up. Has anyone got anything they want to add, or any questions that they want to fire out, or any points they want to touch on?
Just looking forward to it, mate. I'm sure we're all thinking, I'm looking forward to getting back out there. It's been about 3 months now since we've played a game. Kind of jumping at the bit, mate. Looking forward to it.
Itching to get pre-season started, really. I don't think I've ever felt like that. Horrible. All the running and everything.
I'm really not, mate.
I was going to say, if we could just skip the running bit, go straight into the season, that'd be fantastic.
That'd be great, yeah.
A lot of running this year.
Yeah.
Hanging.
But yeah, thanks a lot for coming on, boys. Cam and Max, all the best for next season with the Senior Colts and school and BTEC and Navy and all that, boys.
Yeah, cheers.
cheers.
And, for Jake, Kingy and SP, pleasure as always.
Cheers, bud. Thank you very much.
Take care, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Pre-season, mate.
See you later, boys. Yes,
Cheers.
Later, boys.
in a bit.
See you later.